maybe I hoped a little too hard that this game would be uneventful. I just didn't want to see anybody injured. And after game 1, a lot of people assumed this would be another tale of the tape. Each opponent weighed and matched up before the game, finding their fight partners during the game, squaring off in a preseason battle that is completely unnecessary. Especially after Ottawa went out of their way to bring in Curtis McDermott. But this was basically the opposite of game 1. And it was kind of a snooze fest. But regardless, I'm going to go through the game, probably spend a little bit more time on something interesting like talking about the prospects and my opinions about where they stand. So let's talk about it. I guess maybe we should celebrate, right? It's the end of preseason. We don't like preseason, or we do like preseason. I'll be completely honest. I was craving hockey so bad during the offseason that this preseason hit like crack. This was really fun. And I think that the investment in the young prospects is what did it for me. I've never been this obsessed with the Montreal prospect pool, understanding who the key prospects are, who's waiting in the wings, who's knocking at the door, who's on the bubble. It's been like a learning experience for me, but you know what has happened is I've become so invested in it and like our prospects so much, it's definitely biased me. I forget it. One of the community members asked me, do you really think that Owen Beck is better than Kapanen? And I hadn't even realized that I might have been talking like that, but I do really like Owen Beck. And I think it's because a few times he's had brilliant moments, like absolutely top-notch, compete, game-changing moments, or moments that could potentially be a game-changing moment in a big game. And I love seeing that from him. And Kapanen has always just kind of been the safe choice, right? But there's no question. This preseason, Oliver Kapanen has demonstrated that his cool, quiet, composed manner has been just so important. And I can definitely see him being an asset to the team. But we're here to talk about tonight's game. But first, do me a favor. Consider subscribing. It's an 82 game season. And you know what? I'm going to be here for every single game, as long as, nothing terrible happens. So if you enjoy what you're watching, hit that subscribe button and the little bell to get notified when I put out a video. If you're already subscribed, don't worry about it. Hit the like button. It helps me with, it helps me. So we start where we always start. This is going to be a condensed game though. I'll warn you right away. On commence avec la formation de départ. We're starting with our starting lineup. Nos attaquants, our forwards. We've got Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky. So the boys are back in town. The thing is, they didn't really activate until late third period, I guess. They're getting their reps in. This is preseason. Second line, Veleno, Doc, Gallagher. I think Veleno being on the second line in this specific game, the last game of preseason, is symbolic. I said it before, but I think Veleno is going to make the opening roster, along with Oliver Kapanen, who is not playing this game. St. Louis didn't come out and say it specifically, but he said that Kapanen showed him enough alongside Newhook and Demidov that, he's made the opening roster. Our third line, Anderson, Evans, Laine. Laine still getting time with two heavy defensive forwards. And our fourth line, Florian Xhekaj, Owen Beck, and Sammy Blais. I might as well say right here that this line was the grinding line. They've all submitted their job application, and it's coming right down to it. This was kind of a silly preseason. I'm sure that these guys will all get more interviews. One of them is going to be the 13th forward, the Mikel Pezzetta. The team Mikel Pezzetta, by the way, got a goal tonight for Toronto.
Here we go. Chance now, busting in is Mikel Pezzetta. Pezzetta in, shoots, scores!
Anyway, we'll talk about this as I get later in the video. No défenseur, our defensemen, Caden Gooley, Lane Hudson, Aiden Struble, Noah Dobson, Arber Xhekaj, and Adam Engstrom. Engstrom's still being considered, but I think that Struble and Xhekaj are safe. So I really feel that Engstrom could be a call-up this season, but that depends on an injury. Finally, finalement, nos gardiens, our goalies, Montembeault and Dobesh. So like I said, I'm going to do this condensed. The puck is dropped. Initially, it feels, kind of chippy both ways. You didn't know if it was going to break out in a physical tone, but I feel like Montreal actually was the bigger man here and pulled it back a little bit. And then subsequently, the Senators get on the board first.
1-1, Sanderson cutting in front, score! Beautiful setup, Sanderson.
Not a huge response after that Pinto goal. Montreal kind of reverts back to pretty safe play. Not making a whole lot of mistakes, but it was back and forth, and there were little battles, but it wasn't getting intense. Then we do see a little mistake, and
Sell right in front, Lars Eller again to the forehand, ran out of room, rebound, Amadio!
Leno absolutely bails Montembeault out. An incredible defensive play. We need to see different angles of this one. You definitely get a cookie for this one, Veleno. It might even be like one of those good smile cookies from Tim Hortons you only find in the most ritzy neighborhoods, the kind that don't have flies crawling all over them. You know, Montreal was in the zone quite a bit tonight, but Ottawa, to their credit, they were good with their sticks. So that's about it for the first period. We move on to the second period, and I think now is a good time to say I have like no notes for Patrick Laine tonight. He did his job. He was even kind of effective in his own end. He's got that big stick. He protects the puck really good, and he draws penalties. Like, that's important stuff on 5-on-5. I wish he scored more goals 5-on-5, but I almost think if he draws the penalty and he gets the goal on the ensuing power play, that's like close enough, man. Now in the second, Ottawa is going to make it 2-0 from a tip right in front of the net from Perron.
The puck away. There's Shabbat. They'll zip it across. Jensen. High wrister tip, score!
So maybe Perron wouldn't have gotten this goal if Gouli had stayed on him for even a fraction of a second longer. Just really bad timing here. I don't really know what Gouli was doing. He was like performing a side mission, but picked the wrong time to do it. That's all I'm going to say about the second period. Let's move on to the third period. We're getting closer to the end of the game, so line one starts to activate. You can tell they don't want to send Ottawa back with a shutout. They want to get at least one in the back of the net. And that's what they do, but so late into the game, Caulfield makes it 2-1.
Touches the puck, Caulfield across, Dobson. Suzuki, spinning, shooting, knocked down Slavkovsky, Caulfield jamming, score!
So finally, the first line finds the back of the net after, some zone time, but they were leaving their I's without dots and leaving their T's without crosses. Yeah, this entire game, you can tell that they were a little bit pulled back. That's preseason, man. They don't have anything to prove. They're getting their legs underneath them. We saw a lot this preseason, teams dressing their, NHL roster up against their opponents who were younger players, and the younger players just dominated. The prospects dominated. That's because they're playing for a reason, and the veteran players, not so much. Montreal tries to make things interesting. They're spending a lot of time in the zone. I'm going to get to this, but Sammy Blais was phenomenal. But with a goaltender pulled, Montembeault, by the way, he played a completely acceptable game. With Montembeault pulled, Lars Eller is going to make it 3-1 and just ices the game. Of course, it would be Lars Eller. Yeah, it seems every time Montreal faces a team with a former player, the former player shows up. Even though they haven't been on the stat sheet for a while, they'll show up. So 3-1, Ottawa wins it. Preseason's done. There were definitely some things that I wanted to see from our veteran players that I didn't necessarily see, but you can't get what you want with that. I questioned Noah Dobson's compete level on a breakaway opportunity for the Ottawa Senators. He was not beating his feet. That's okay during preseason. That's fine. But if that happens during the actual season, there's 9.5 million reasons why you're going to hear a lot from the Montreal fan club. So, take that as you will, Dobson, but you're responsible. You gotta be responsible. Now let's talk about the prospects. Specifically, let's talk about Blais, Beck, and Xhekaj. I have further gotten pulled away from my bias of Owen Beck. I do think that he's ready. It's just, I don't know what he offers to the team if he's not putting it on the line a little more than he is, or that he has demonstrated in this preseason. Meanwhile, with Florian Xhekaj, I feel like his drive is phenomenal. He's often in the right place at the right time, and he's dotting his I's and crossing his T's. He's forechecking, he's finishing his checks. He's playing sound defensively. He's back checking, he's getting back in time. He's making small mistakes, but it's often at a circumstance of good, strong play, allowing to further or retain puck control. Beck had a couple of giveaways tonight, which I didn't love, but he brought it back. Florian and Beck worked well together. They created some breakout drives, and Beck, he was finishing some checks too and checking his guy off of pucks, which is huge. Now I want to talk about Blais tonight. Blais has been, mostly flying under the radar. And when I say flying under the radar, he's been doing everything right, but he hasn't been putting extra on anything. I shouldn't say everything right. He has made mistakes, but tonight, he got noticed. Sammy Blais has entered chat. Check this out.
Yasuaki. Big body check. Sammy Blais right in front. Up top, slap pass Dobson. And all set up.
He kind of did stuff like this all night. We see him check someone else off the puck, gets the puck to Beck, who makes a beautiful heads-up play to Dobson, who comes crashing in. And then later in the game, Blais goes right up ice with the puck, creates a beautiful opportunity, feels like he's slowing down the game. And then on that same shift, he takes Pinto down, sets up Anderson and Evans in front of the net, almost connecting for a backdoor chance. So Blais really, got noticed tonight, really did a good job. Is it too little too late? Maybe. But I think that the statement I want to go with after tonight is we're in good shape. Beck is right there knocking on the door. Florian, I can't see how he doesn't just get progressively better from here. And he's a sandpaper guy, a forward with edge, but shows some moments of brilliance and found some chemistry with Demidov. Kapanen, I love him as just an individual who you can trust. And there are so many other great prospects in our pool, right? So it's very encouraging. But 11:49, I'm going to call it right there, guys. The end of preseason, we're going into regular season. I think I still am cautioning everyone. It could be a slow start. I think that they're going to try a couple of experiments. They've already been trying a couple of experiments. I think that they're going to keep Doc, Demidov, and Laine separated. Although St. Louis was working or operating under the impression that, Doc would be second line center. And did he not explicitly say that he would be centering for Laine and Demidov? Anyway, it just seems to me that those three individuals are among the weakest defensively of the forward group on the team. So it seems irresponsible to keep them all on the same line. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. That tracks, right? Like I'm not coming out of left field with that one. Had a really good day today. Brought in a lot of the patio furniture, put away a lot of my outdoor stuff. It's getting a little bit colder here in New Brunswick. It's definitely feeling like October. All right, everybody. Hope you have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. Definitely talk to me down in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. But you know what to do. Like the video. It helps me out with search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'd love to have you as part of the community. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.